United States lists Jamaica as one of the drug-producing countries. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Jamaica is again among countries which have been listed by the United States as a major drug transit or major illicit drug-producing countries. The designation was in the required report for the fiscal year. Several other Caribbean states, including the Bahamas, Belize, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti, are also among the 22 countries named in the Memorandum on Presidential Determination on Major Drug Transit or Major Illicit Drug-Producing Countries for the fiscal year 2024. Former People's National Party President and Prime Minister P.J. Patterson has urged party members to unify behind current President Mark Golding and reform the party's organizational structure if it is to form the next government. Furthermore, he stated that without broad-based support, a typical feature of the PNP, the party will be unable to win the next parliamentary election. He warned that the PNP cannot afford to bench any of its brightest stars and persons with a broad appeal, which we know they always do. They only choose them for as representative, not the person who the people want. So people do not turn out to vote if the person the party choose is not a good representative. Some people that the PNP choose only come around every 4 years when it is election time, and after that they go missing. Some spend more time abroad than even in the country, so they have no idea what is going on in the community they represent. And he urged the General Secretary to identify and convince the more than 100,000 party members who stayed away from the polls during the last election to return to the party. He warned that without them, the PNP will be defeated. There is a major development in the case of MP Philip Paulwell's missing daughter and her mother. A person whom the police believe can help in their investigation was removed from an aircraft at one of the island's two international airports as that person attempted to leave the island over the weekend. Sources indicate that the individual was questioned about last Saturday's disappearance of 10-month-old Saraya Paulwell and her mother, 27-year-old Tashina Pattison. Sources said the police are making good progress in their investigations of the missing child and mother. The woman and child have been missing since last Saturday when they left their Gilmore Drive home in Kingston 20. And in a statement on social media, the MP described the last week as horrific. He said he has dealt with many things in his life, but the disappearance of his child and her mother is by far the most difficult thing he had ever had to navigate. He said he has spent most of his time in dialogue with the police and persons he believed could assist in locating them, but at this point, nothing has brought them closer to finding the two. And this is a real mystery to the Jamaican public as well, how a woman and a baby can just disappear and nobody don't know anything. There's enough speculations out there, but we're waiting on proof. I'm not setting myself up for no lawsuit, so we're not going to carry any part of those story. The only truth and facts we're going to carry on this station. But here it is, how a big old 61-year-old man getting mixed up with a 27-year-old. And from reports, there are other baby mothers in this mix-up. And he's a minister of government who is setting the example in Jamaica these days. Definitely not the government ministers. The Westmoreland police are searching for a group of gunmen who robbed a financial institution in the parish Friday, making off with more than $1 million. Heavily armed men robbed the National Parish Co-op Credit Union on Main Street in Grange Hill. Investigators said about 9 a.m. a gray sedan motor car transporting the robbers drove to the front of the credit union. 3 men, 1 armed with a rifle and 2 with handguns, entered and ordered the manager to open the vault. Reports are that the gunmen then made off with $1.3 million in cash. And still in Westmoreland, a popular bus driver was shot dead moments before he could load his vehicle in Hendon in Sav-La Mar, Westmoreland, early Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as 50-year-old Clive Grabber Atkinson from Russia in Sav-La Mar. Atkinson is said to have plied the Sav-La Mar to Montego Bay main route for several years. Reports indicate that Atkinson parked his bus as he usually did and leaned against it when he saw 3 men on bikes with firearms approaching him. He reportedly tried to run but was shot in the foot and fell. The men reported then continued to shoot him several times in the head before escaping. He was rushed to the Sav-La Mar General Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Onto sports, 2-time world 200 meters champion Shericka Jackson avenged her defeat to American Sha'Carri Richards in the 100 meters at the World Championship in Budapest on Saturday to capture the Diamond Trophy for the event, opening day of the final Diamond League meet in Eugene, Oregon. Jackson stormed to 10.70 seconds to set a new meet record. Marie-José Talou of the Ivory Coast was second in 10.75, while 2-time double Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah produced another season's best effort, clocking 10.79 seconds for third, while Richardson was a distant fourth in 10.80 seconds. Another Jamaican, Natasha Morrison, she logged a personal best of 10.85 seconds for 6th place. Then Shericka Jackson came back on Sunday and smashed the 200 meters record, actually the meet record, winning in 21.57, leaving everyone in her dust and finishing the season unbeaten. The previous meet record of 21.77 seconds was set in 2017 by the late Tori Bowie. Marie-Jose Talou of the Ivory Coast finished second in a season's best 22.10. Anthony Strawn of the Bahamas placed third in 22.16. Meanwhile, newcomer to Jamaica's sprint team, Kishane Thompson, he ran back-to-back sub 9.90 seconds times as he placed fourth in the men's 100 meters final with 9.87 seconds at Saturday's Wonder Diamond League finals at the Prefontaine Classic at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. Thompson, who only started competing this season, ran 9.85 seconds in China 2 weeks ago. Former world champion Christian Coleman, he upset the 2023 world champion Noah Lyle to win the 100 with a world-leading equal 9.83 seconds. Lyle ran 9.85 seconds, same as third place Ferdinand Omayala of Kenya. Jamaican Johan Blake was 6th in 10.80 seconds, while Aklim was disqualified after he false started. Onto schoolboy football, former champions and Walker Cup holder Glenmuir High double last season beaten finalist Central High 5-1 at their home in the DaCosta Cup on Saturday. Veer United, with strikes from Jamari Foster and Robert Crawford, were 2-0 winners over Kemps Hill. Elsewhere, another former champion, Garvin Massio, hammered Tatius Golding 8-0. And in the East, Port Antonio got the better of Titchfield 3-1, while Happy Grove outscored Fair Prospect 4-2. In other games, Malden High clapped Green Pond High 4-0. Cornwall College and Irwin High played to a 0-0 draw. Spot Valley High edged St. James High 2-1, while Manning's touched Petersfield High 1-0. Belfield High edged Christiana High 1-0. And in Manning Cup, many-time former champions Kingston College rebound from their 4-0 defeat to Hydel in the first game by edging rivals Calabar High 1-0 at the Stadium East Field on Saturday. Jaheim McLean got the all-important goal for KC in the 54th minute. Meanwhile, St. George's College made it 2 wins from 2 games by clipping Campion College 2-1. And in a wet game, St. Jago looked well on their way to victory against Wolmer's before rain put a halt to the game at half-time. Milton Luke Kane and Javari Harris were on the score sheet as St. Jago led 2-0 at the time of stoppage time. In the other wet match, Hydel were 5-1 up against Camperdown when rain put an end to their game as well. Hydel by far looked to be a scoring machine this year, especially since they retained most of their last year's players. And if you ever missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. This is Mikey Bones. I gone.